I know I'm live right now. I don't know if I have any viewers in here yet. I'll wait just a minute to let some people join in. All right, so I'll just go ahead and start. So I'm gonna act like this is for now anyway, like this is a recorded video, just like one of my normal videos and stuff. So I went to Half Price Books today, and I've had a lot of luck at Half Price in the past, and found a lot of really good books. But today I hauled like I've never hauled before, and I probably spent a little bit too much, but that's okay. I think we all do that sometimes. So I just wanted to run through all this stuff and give shout outs where shout outs are due for certain recommendations from people. Um, but yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. If people are on live and you can chat, and I'll try and respond and stuff as we go. But I have a box and a half of books here. I'm just trying to decide where to start with this stuff. So I went in today kind of on a whim. I just got back from vacation, just got back from Hawaii yesterday, and I needed to go do some chores, get groceries, that kind of stuff. And I was like, Half Price Book sale is coming up like in a couple days. They're probably restocked with stuff. I'm gonna jump in there. I'm gonna be the asshole who jumps in there and gets the stuff like before the sale starts. And man, was that a good idea. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna start with no, David, no one said weeaboo. I am not a weeaboo. Let me start. So I grabbed Tagami Bachi. This I almost got the entire series. They had it's a 20 volume series published by Shonen Jump Advanced actually. Um, I've only read the first chapter or so, first couple chapters from the Shonen Jump magazine, but it's always been on my list, something that I was kind of interested in because it has gorgeous artwork. So I was always intrigued by it, but they had the entire series minus volume 11 out of 20. So I grabbed that, volume 1, volume 2, just to kind of give y'all an idea of the cover art and why I've been intrigued to pick this one up for so long. Um, so I don't have a lot of I'm that one. I'm kind of going in, aside from loving the way the art looks, I'm kind of going into it blind because I don't have a lot of know-how on the actual story. So if anyone's actually read it, I hope that no one's going to come out and be like, that book's actually complete shit, Riley. There's a reason that someone sold the whole thing. I think someone went in there recently and just sold like a lot of their manga collection, and that's why there's a lot of whole runs of books that were over there. Um, this being one of them. Like, they probably did what I did when I moved from Houston to Austin, and let go of a lot of crap that I didn't feel like I needed, that now I'm regretting letting go of. But one person's regrets are my gains, I guess, if that's the case. Um, but yeah, if anyone has any, I hope that someone's know-how on the book. If someone's going to be like, oh, I've read that book, it's actually really good. Good choice in picking that up, Riley. And I'll be like, oh, cool, thank you. I'm glad this wasn't a bullshit title that I just wasted money on. Because that would be cool. But yeah, these covers are freaking gorgeous. I think it was the reason I skipped out on it before is because it was being published around the time that I was slowing down on buying and reading manga. And here's the last volume. And so it was one of those that I kind of glossed over and didn't grab. Not as big of sets of books. Let me grab a few single volume ones here. They had a bunch of just single volumes of stuff that I wanted to get. This one was actually on my list last month and I didn't grab it. High Rise Invasion. I don't know a lot about the actual story, but it was on a list of recommendations for Halloween, scary manga to read, and I really enjoyed the artwork. And I flipped through it at Barnes and Noble before and really enjoyed what I saw, so I thought I would go ahead and um, pick it up. And I had intended on ordering it at some point, but I skipped out on it. Um, it's not on in stock trades because they don't often have Seven Seas books. So I was going to have to order it off of Right Stuff, and I didn't order it with the last order that I got from Right Stuff. But yeah, it's one of the Seven Seas Omnis that collects 2 volumes of this series. Um, I think it's still ongoing in Japan. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, I was really intrigued and happy to see that over there so I can try it out. There's volume 1 of Master Keaton of the nice oversized signature editions of that. This one's a little bit damaged. It's got some damage on the spine. Um, so yeah, Urasawa obviously is the main reason why I grabbed this one. I know that he's not the writer, or at least not the primary writer of the series. He is the artist though, and I've heard good things either way, whether he's fully responsible for writing or not. I've heard a lot of good things about the series, so I was intrigued enough. It was only the first volume. It's not like I was committing to all 14 volumes in one go. Next, they had Death Note Volume 4 of the Black Edition. I have 1 through 3, so I need 4, 5, and 6. So I was like, cool, they have one that I need. It's been years since I bought 1 through 3, and I just never bought the rest of it. I had the single volumes back in the day, but I sold them in favor of getting those, and then I just never grabbed the latter half. And then one more single volume, All You Need Is Kill. Of course, this is... I believe that this manga is an adaptation of the novel, of like a light novel. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it's an adaptation of the novel. And Takeshi Obata, who of course is the artist on Death Note, provided artwork to this manga adaptation. And then, of course, this was also the novel was the inspiration of that Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow, that came out a few years back, which I surprisingly found really enjoyable. I've actually been wanting to revisit that movie. So yeah, I love the artist. Obviously, he's fantastic. Obata's done a lot of work that I've really enjoyed. So this has been on my radar for a long time, and finding it at Half Price Books was just the nudge that I needed to pick it up. James, I don't have Do Ra Ra Ra. I've watched a couple episodes though, and I really enjoyed what I saw, and I've been meaning to go into that. Countdown to Comics, manga is great and all, but I really missed your Omnibus of the Week reviews. It's really what got me into comics, start doing them again. I felt really crappy about calling them Omnibus of the Week when I rarely would put them out even monthly. And I want to go back to review those things, but I haven't had a chance to feel good about doing an omnibus review in a little while. And we've been doing so many of them with Omnibros Live, where we'll review omnibus and have like, you know, a monthly book that's sponsored by In Stock Trades, that I kind of just leave all my comic review stuff there. But I am planning on doing a not a comic collection, not a comic haul, but a comic collection update, like you're saying, James, to look around my room and stuff like that. I just need to, I get a package coming in today, and I need to put away some stuff, and then I'll be able to do that. But it's going to be, if not featured on my channel, it'll be on the Omnibus Collectors Network channel, so you can check it out over there. But if you haven't already, and I'm doing a lot of talking with my hands, if you haven't already checked out that channel or subscribed to that channel, make sure to look at that, because that's where we do a lot of the actual Western comic talk. Moving on, and I'm going to get up in a second to take my dogs out, or actually take them in. They're outside at the moment. I grabbed the first 2 volumes of To Your Eternity. A lot of people have talked about this series, but mostly I know the most that I've seen is from Nelson in one of our chats. Talks about how good this series is and says that I should pick it up. And it's the same creator as A Silent Voice, which is another book that I grabbed in an IST haul a while ago. So I still haven't read that, but I've heard really great things about both of them. And they had the first two volumes. I couldn't pass that up. I thought it was a perfect chance to look into a new series. Let's see. Another one that they had almost every volume of. I was really excited about this because it's by a creator who's done a series that I really enjoy. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it all organized. Is Inuyashiki. It is the same creator, Hiroyu Oka, who did Gantz, which is right now getting these new omnibus editions published, the 3-in-1 editions by Dark Horse, and the first one recently came out. So this is another series that he did. I know very little about the actual series, but I've heard a lot of good stuff, and I was actually looking online recently to see if I could buy it for a good price. And unfortunately, there was not a lot of good options to buy it for a discount other than just finding it on like in stock trades or something like that. So when I saw they had 1 through 7 at half price today, that's a way better deal than I've seen anywhere. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and there's only 10 volumes, so I'll be able to read through these and then order the next 3 at my leisure. Another one that they had almost all of, and this is unnervingly annoying. They only did not have volume 1, but this is going to make a lot of people happy that I finally grabbed this book, is Pluto. They did not have volume 1, but volume 2 through 8 were all available in there. So I'm guessing that someone went in and bought a couple, because there was a couple other series where they would have like the whole series or several volumes of the series, and they were missing the first volume. So someone that was a little bit more had a little bit more sense and could hold themselves back from spending this much and buying a box and a half of books, probably went in and was like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy the first volume of this and the first volume of that and the first volume of this, try them out, and then I'll come back and see if I like them. Or if I like them, I'll come back and buy the rest of the series. And I just crushed their dreams by buying the whole book or the whole run of those books, because I think Inuyashiki there was like 3 copies of volume 1 and then a couple copies of 2 and then 1 copy of each of the other ones. So I'm guessing someone else probably had volume 1 that they bought from there. This one, I know this is one that Nelson had recommended a lot as well, is I Am a Hero. They had almost every volume up to date, because I think volume 8 just came out, so I can't fault them for not having that. Of course, the person who sold it wouldn't have had it. So there's volume 1. I bought volume 2 a little while ago. Here's volume 3. Unfortunately, a little bit of spine damage. There's a crease down the spine on that one. Volume 4. Volume 5. And volume 7. So I'm guessing they also didn't have volume 6, so whatever. I'm missing 1 more. But yeah, I'm going to get to reading that hopefully soon. I've been really intrigued by that. The artwork looks great, and then I've been told that it's a really great story as well. So I'm going to look forward to reading into that one. And then the last couple things here are just kind of random filler books for me. I got volumes 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11 of Hikaru no Go. This is one that I've been buying very slowly. Basically, anytime I see any new volumes that I don't have at half price, I'll pick them up. And then this, I'm doing the same thing for Assassination Classroom as well. So they had 2 and 10, so 2 more volumes of that series that I don't have. And that was it. Like, that's the most I've ever hauled in one go at half price books. I was really impressed by their selections today. Like I said, someone must have gone in recently and just sold a lot of their collection, and they put that all out recently, and I snatched it all up. So yeah, I'm just gonna look through the chat that people are in there. And Tyler Trent, yes, I did have Loco Moco in Hawaii because you mentioned it, and it was really good. I don't remember. I think we went to Kihei Cafe, and that's where I ordered it. And I originally intended on ordering a lot of spam dishes for everything. And I did do that a little bit, but I didn't have my spam and eggs for breakfast because I realized that's what a Loco Moco is. And I ordered that and it was fantastic. And for those of you who don't know, basically rice with hamburger patty and egg with brown gravy. And it was fantastic. It really seems like a southern type of thing to eat as well. Um, but it was really good. Um, Opinions on Comic Gate. I think that I don't want to talk because I could go on for a long time, but basically, I think that the supporters of it are bullshit. It's a bullshit thing. That's all I'm going to say right now. I know in my group, I announced our official stance is just against it, and that's it. Like I don't like any of that at all. Um, let's see. Jeff Johns Flash, really good stuff. His Green Lantern is fantastic. In our show last night, we actually talked a lot about Jeff Johns as a writer that we found really that we can count on to most of the times create really great stories. And I think we highlighted his Green Lantern as has the best stuff from him. His Flash is probably my second favorite of all his material, specifically his Flash with Wally West. So that's the stuff that's getting trade paperbacks right now. I would definitely recommend picking up all the Wally West material that he did. It's especially great once you start getting to like it culminates a lot. There's a lot of stuff that builds into when he gets to like Zoom and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend pushing through and getting more with that. Maddie, I'm glad that someone else is appreciative of Hikaru no Go. Let's see. To those of y'all saying you don't have half price books, I'm very sorry uh, that you do not have one close to you. I have a lack of stores like Second and Charles that I really wish that I had around me that people will find stuff at. And oftentimes, it's only been recently that I've been finding such good stuff at half price. I usually will go in and maybe find one book, maybe find one movie that I've been looking for. But I don't know. There's been a lot of really great stuff that's coming up. Um, I'm sorry, May puns. I don't. I have not read or watched Snafu. Um, Unless you're talking about the old web comics, Snafu comics. I used to read that when I was in high school. So no, that's not an uh, that's a no for that one. I'm sorry. Um, and what was I? D Zach Skate. Yes, I took about a week and a half off from work. We left for Hawaii last week on Wednesday. We drove from here to the airport in Houston and then did a couple flights. And then I came back yesterday kind of late. And so I'm still kind of jet lagged. I would have slept in today, but it was my wife's fault. She had to catch another flight today. So yeah, we took about a week and a half off. Is the Green Lantern omnibus good quality? If you mean like build quality, I've seen some people have a bad copy of some of them, it seems, that have bad binding. And my volume 1, at least, seems to, when I opened it up, it made cracking noises. So it's, I think they re-released it and the newer copies have a better binding situation. So overall, I would say yes, that they are good. And they are the easiest way right now to get all of his Green Lantern stuff in a decently priced package. When you're comparing that against the paperbacks, the omnibus usually will come out at a better price unless the paperbacks have gone down in price since I was first collecting them when the series was first coming out in singles. But I know that they're re-releasing it in thick paperbacks like they're having for those Flash ones. So if you're not in a rush, you could also wait for those. And yeah, I had no idea about the rom-com snafu thing. I've never heard of that at all. I'm not big on light novels, and usually I'm not big on light novel adaptations either, as far as manga goes. When I say I'm not big on light novels, I mean that I've never read a light novel. Um, so I've just never done it. And but I have been watching both Goblin Slayer and the that time I got reincarnated as a slime. And I've been enjoying both of those well enough that I've kind of considered buying into the manga, but I've never read a light novel before, and I don't know, like I don't have a good attention span when it comes to novels. So I don't have a good attention span when it comes to novels, so that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't read a lot of them. Too many words, not enough pictures. This is a picture. Right? You're looking at me right now, man. And you can. There's books back there. I'm just answering questions now, but if you didn't tune in earlier, you can definitely rewind where I show the covers of all the books that I picked up. I also didn't get into Haruhi Suzumiya. Have I read X-Men Gold, Blue, and Red? Yes. I've read oh, I'm sorry if I was being an asshole, Craig. That's my problem, is not enough pictures. But that I didn't want to say that outright because it makes me seem kind of shitty. But it's just basically since college, I have not read any novels, and it's because I've invaded my own mind with comics too much that I almost can't read a novel, and it's really shitty, and I get pissed at myself because there's a lot of novels and like novel series that I would like to read, and I'll read like 5 pages and I get very distracted. It's kind of annoying. um, X-Men Gold, Blue, Red. I've read everything published by Marvel since post AVX. I've read every series um except for like the young reader titles or like the movie tie-in books and stuff like that. But I've read everything else. I think that this era of X-Men books, the Gold, Blue, Red era, along with All New Wolverine and Old Man Logan, is stronger than the previous era of books with All New X-Men Volume 2, Extraordinary X-Men, and that stuff. The whole thing with Death of X and Inhumans versus X-Men. I think that this era has been stronger than that one, but it's not like top notch stuff. There's a lot of it. That's not fair for me to say. The problem is that the main two books, Gold and Blue, when you're reading those are supposed to be the headliners, and you expect for a headlining book to be the AAA quality, but they really, for the most of it, they weren't there yet. They seemed more like a sidelined book. Like it seemed more like the B or C tier book. Um, so as to compare it to like from a previous era of X-Men books, Victor Gischler's adjectiveless X-Men book. It was passable, but it wasn't the A-list book. It wasn't uncanny. It wasn't even X-Men Legacy. You know, it was the third tier X-Men book. It was just kind of there, and it was passable for what it was. And that's kind of the feeling that Gold and Blue have, and it's kind of weird for them to not have that AAA feel. X-Men Red, I think, is doing a lot of a better job of filling that hole. It feels like a better, it's telling bigger, more important stories, and it's better told. Um, but now we're going into another era already, so that one's getting chopped down to just 12 issues. So it's like, is it really that consequential in the end? It's a great series, but I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to the upcoming stuff with the weekly Uncanny book, or bi-weekly, whatever it is. Ed Brisson, Kelly Thompson, and who's the third writer on that one? The three who are writing on that one right now, Rosenberg, are doing a lot of cool work with the X-Men and a lot of stuff that I've been enjoying in like their mini series and stuff more than I have been in the ongoing titles. So I will say I'm looking forward to that more than I have enjoyed this stuff. Sorry, I got sidetracked on that. Um, am I more into manga than comics at the moment? It's not that I'm more into manga than comics. I actually read more comics right now than I read manga. But right now, I've caught up on all of the old comics that I've been trying to get. Like I was doing a lot of work to fill in my X-Men gaps and my Batman gaps in my collection, and so I'm not buying a lot of older Western comics. But with manga, I took a big break from basically when I was leaving Houston, leaving my home when I got married and moved out to Austin. And I sold a bunch of my stuff and I stopped buying a bunch of stuff at that point. And so now I'm going back and looking at a bunch of these things that I missed. And also, I now have a lot of friends who are uh, into all these things and are giving me these recommendations for other books and other creators that I'd never looked at before, which is really cool. And it's also really harmful to my bank account, but it's still a lot of fun. And that's kind of why I'm focusing more on buying manga now than I am on buying Western books. When I go to like half price books, I'm not looking at the Western books because usually I'm like, I have that one in omnibus, I have that one in a hardcover, I have that one, whatever. It's nothing that I'm really looking for. Um, Power rankings on former Watsuki assistants. You mentioned Oda, Mashima, and Takei. I would, I mean, personally, I would say Oda is number one. Um, I still need to read more of Fairy Tail. I kind of tapped out at volume 16 because it was around that time that I was just talking about where I stopped buying a lot of manga and I just sold what I had and just haven't grabbed it. Um, and then Take, obviously, I have a big soft spot for because I'm a huge fan of Shaman King, which a lot of people don't give enough credit. Um, am I all caught up on Boruto manga? Yes. As far as well, the American releases, I'm caught up with that, and it's okay. It fills that Naruto shaped hole just good enough, but it's not quite as intriguing as that is. But it's fun, and my nephew is into Naruto because of Boruto, so I have to give it some credit at least for what it does there. Um, Tolga, yes, manga is in general cheaper, but the discounts are not as good on it, which kind of sucks. Like you don't get the weekly deal on IST of 50% off on uh, on manga, like you do on like an omnibus, like $100 omnibus being discounted down to 50. So you don't get like a $10 book for $5. You get a $10 book for $7. But it's still in general, you can generally get stuff for cheaper. When I mean, I've been reading One Piece since I was 13, but when I decided to finally buy it all, I bought like the 3 box sets for around $300. So that's $70 for 70 books for $300, which is insane. Like that's a lot of material for a low price. And yeah, like you said, not everything is printed in English, which is really sad. Um, I did get the Loeb Sale Batman Omni, and it is fantastic. That's my strongest, in my opinion, the strongest material that they've done together is that Batman stuff. And in my opinion, Long Halloween and then its sequel, Dark Victory, is one of the best Batman stories that I've personally ever read. I really love it. So I would recommend it. If you've never read anything Loeb and Sale, I would recommend maybe picking up one of the paperbacks first just to check it out. And if you like it as much as I do, then definitely grab the omnibus because the rest of the stuff is really awesome and worth having. I haven't read the Higurashi book, but I think I saw you post that, Tyler, the whole series, and it looked interesting. The books look really nice, but I've never heard anything about it. So you'll have to report back after you read it and just talk about if that's worth checking out because I honestly had never heard about that series. Um, yeah, I noticed on Boruto that they're kind of now that they're past the material from the movie, it's progressing a little bit into more story stuff. Um, awesome. I'm glad that y'all were talking to me about. I was kind of nervous I was going to come in here and be alone and not have anyone to talk with about this stuff. But I'm glad that everyone got to watch. I feel like I really hyped out. I got really excited about this haul. It's a lot of stuff, but I got through it really quickly. And I'm kind of bummed because I thought that I got all of I Am a Hero, and then I realized that I don't have volume 6. So if I really like it and get through volume 5, I'm going to be missing volume 6. So that kind of stinks. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm really glad that this went well. I know the video quality on a live video like this isn't as good as which brother-in-law is watching me at work? Oh, I read that really wrong, Davis. I read Badger DA as Bad Gerda. I didn't get it. But yeah, thanks for watching, dude. I wish that we had time to hang out when I got back from Hawaii and could have talked about more manga and stuff. But yeah, I don't remember what I was about to say. Jesse, you're welcome for me introducing you to One Piece and Grant Morrison. I'm always happy to talk to people about Grant Morrison. Oh, video quality is not great when I do it live, but it's a lot quicker for me to do this than to sit down and edit and all that stuff. So I'm appreciative when people are appreciative of whatever type of video I can put out there. Like Tolga said, you always appreciate to see me on YouTube. I'm always happy to put out content like this. Yes, Nelson, please rewind and see the haul. I mentioned your recommendations a couple times. Dang, Tolga, I didn't know I started. You've got a lot of good manga in your collection too, so I'm impressed that you've started that so recently. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. My dogs are barking, and I need to go get groceries. Thank you so much for everyone watching. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed watching this. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed seeing my little haul here, and I'm excited to read some new books. I've got a couple more days off of work before I have to jump back in. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.